Welcome to the Caldwell, Idaho Orchard. This orchard is owned and operated by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The Lord has chosen this site, and with the help of a dedicated staff and members, has developed it and expanded it to what it is today. In the future, it will continue to grow as a strategic part of the church welfare system. This orchard produces fruit for fresh pack operations and canneries to be distributed throughout the world through the church's welfare system. It is through your service that the fruit grown in this orchard is harvested for people who are in need as they visit bishops' storehouses or through distribution by humanitarian means throughout the world. The church's welfare system was organized in 1936. Through the years, it has helped countless people through difficult times by providing relief of food and other needed items. And while church welfare helps the needy, it also helps those who serve. President J. Reuben Clark taught, "The real long-term objective of the welfare plan is the building of character in the members of the church, givers and receivers, rescuing all that is finest down deep inside of them, and bringing to flower and fruitage the latent richness of the Spirit, which after all is the mission and purpose and reason for being of this church." The purpose of this video is fourfold. First, to instruct and qualify members to meet the Orchard's newly adopted operating program called Good Agricultural Practices, or GAP, and its federally mandated guidelines. Second, to equate you to various items in the orchard located at strategic sites. Third, to instruct you how to handle the food safely so the food enters the distribution chain safely. And fourth, how to handle the fruit to keep its quality at the highest level and understand your part in harvesting the fruit. The Lord is pleased with those individuals who serve in this part of His vineyard. Our hope and prayer is that by serving here you will gain a greater understanding of caring for those who are in need and feel the Lord's peace and spirit as you do the work. The first important activity as you arrive at the orchard is signing the log sheets. Sign-in booths and podiums are located at specific parts of the orchard where the work is being done. It is important for tax-exempt purposes as we need to have a record of anyone who enters the orchard. Please include in the work hours time traveled to the orchard from wherever you live, as well as time traveling home. All people working or visiting the orchard need to be aware of personal hygiene. Most contamination of fruit comes from human sources. If you are not feeling well, avoidance of fruit and other individuals is recommended. Open sores on your hand need to be covered with the proper covering, such as a Band-Aid, but also a rubber or latex covering, such as a finger cover or a thin rubber glove. Blood or other bodily fluids cannot be around fruit. If you have an open wound, use good judgment if you should be in the orchard. Make sure your clothing is not too loose, that you would trip on them or get caught in ladders or cause an accident on a ladder. Washing hands is mandated before handling fruit. Bulletin boards will be placed at Ranch 1 and Ranch 2. Important information will be attached periodically to these boards. Maps will also be posted, so if there are any questions, please see the bulletin boards. Orchard personnel can be contacted if there are questions. Phone numbers of these people will be posted. Signs will be placed at strategic places to direct you to the locations of fruit to be picked. Please take note, and if there are any questions, locate a supervisor or the orchard manager to clarify any questions. Park your cars in designated areas in the orchard. If at all possible, do not park cars between rows in the orchard. Tree blocks and rows will be numbered. The blocks and rows will also be important numbering bins for later use. Large first aid units are provided at the orchard. First aid kits are located in the shed on Ranch 1 next to the restroom, and in the lunchroom on Ranch 2. There are small first aid kits that are located in the wash trailers. If an injury takes place, immediately notify farm supervisors, as supervisors are trained to administer first aid. Any injury should be reported immediately to the orchard manager. All people working or visiting the orchard that handle fruit need to wash their hands. Most contamination of fruit comes from human sources, mainly through contact with hands. Each person needs to wash their hands thoroughly before handling any fruit. Use these 4 important steps when washing your hands. 1. Wet your hands completely with clean water provided at the wash table. 2. Apply soap and scrub your hands thoroughly for at least 20 seconds to loosen dirt and microbes. 3. Rinse your hands with clean running water, removing any soap. 4. Dry your hands with clean paper towels provided at the wash table. Please throw the paper towels in the garbage. Remember, hands should always be washed after using the restrooms. Drinking water is encouraged to be brought from home. The orchard will provide water, but the water is hard and bitter to the taste. It will, however, be provided on the washing trailers. Please throw away any cups and trash in the garbage cans provided by the wash trailers. Pets are not allowed and should be kept at home. Wild animals such as deer need to be reported to the orchard manager. Fruit bins will be provided between the rows of fruit trees. They will be on their sides empty so tractors and other vehicles can freely move between the rows. Make sure each bin is clean. If they are not clean, then contact your supervisor. When picking starts and bins begin to fill, do not overfill them. Overfilling will damage the fruit by bruising. Fill bins one at a time. This will save orchard personnel hours of time as they move fruit bins to the coolers each evening. Partially filled bins require a great deal of effort, time, and energy to fill and move to the coolers. Proper filling will go approximately 2 inches below the top of the bin. Each bin must be tagged for traceability purposes. Each tag must have the row, time, and date. This information is on the first tree of every row. Buckets are provided to pick fruit. They are located near the signing-in booths and podiums. Proper wearing of the fruit bucket will help distribute the weight of the fruit and make it easier to pick. Adjust the straps and place arms through the straps like this. Please place the bucket back in the bin where you found it when you are finished. Buckets left in the rows on the ground often get run over and crushed by motorized vehicles. Buckets are expensive to replace. Ladder use, safety, and care will be addressed in depth as a separate topic, but a few points should be mentioned here. First, before thinning or picking any fruit, inspect the ladder you are going to use. Make sure there is nothing wrong with your ladder. Make sure the brace pole is attached. and in good working order. Also make sure all steps on the ladder are in good condition. Second, when using the ladder, make sure you are balanced over the steps. Do not lean to one side when picking fruit. Also, when picking fruit, make sure you center the weight fully over the ladder. Third, do not stand above the second to the top step on the ladder under any circumstances. Fourth, for proper hygiene, when climbing the ladder, do not place your hands on the steps. Use the side rails. Fifth, return ladder to a ladder trailer or leave it standing if the trailer is full. This is to avoid contact with the soil. This is a platform picker to help us pick the trellis blocks of apples and pears. If you are asked to use the platform, you will need to wear a safety harness whenever you are off the ground more than 4 feet. The platform picker will be used to pick higher apples, and we will walk on the ground to pick the apples that are lower. No more ladders will be used in these blocks of fruit. Accidents that cause injury can happen at any time while working in the orchard. Please be attentive to dangers where injury can take place. If an injury does occur, please report it to the orchard manager. All food must be eaten in designated areas. There are areas to eat on Ranch 1 and Ranch 2. Groups may have picnics and fires, and these can be done at designated eating areas. Notify orchard personnel and a fire will be ready for you when you are done working. Eating in designated areas reduces fruit contamination. Please wash your hands after eating before contacting fruit again. Thinning fruit is important to obtain the correct fruit size for the cannery. Peaches should be thinned 6 to 8 inches apart. Apples and pears should be thin according to fruit load. Training will be provided. If fruit is not thin, small fruit will be the result and will not be suitable for canning. The extra weight on branches could also cause limbs to break off. While thinning, be careful on the ladders to not overreach. If you overreach, other limbs not on trees may be broken. Flags are placed at the beginning of each row. As you thin and complete your work, please move the flag where you finished so new workers know where to start. As fruit ripens, it turns color and the flesh becomes softer. Because of this softening, the flesh can easily bruise. To avoid bruising the fruit, handle it gently as you pick. While placing the fruit in the bins, do not drop the fruit from the buckets. Rather, allow the fruit to gently roll from the bucket into the bin. Do not overfill bins because they are stacked on top of each other for storage. If fruit touches the ground, do not place it in the bins. The fruit grown in the orchard is the Lord's fruit. Picking fruit directly from the trees for home use is not allowed unless approved by the orchard manager. Fruit left on trees due to oversight or immature at the time of picking may be picked after harvest. The Lord is grateful for your service to provide for His storehouse. We also appreciate the workers' time of service. Keeping in mind whom we serve will bring a spirit of worship and gratefulness into our hearts as we serve. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for being disciples of Christ. When you are leaving the orchard after finishing work, it is important that you sign out on the same line you signed in. Tracking the total hours you worked is important for tax-related purposes. Again, please include your travel time to home as part of your work hours. To maintain our tax-exempt status, the hours from volunteer labor needs to be recorded, and an accounting will be done at the end of each year.
thank you for listening to the training video. There are some important principles in that we need to remember, not only for your safety, but for the food safety. And it's important that we fulfill those requirements.